and welcome back to Latin Fashion Week Colorado. My name is Daisy Quesada, and I have here Denver's very own and unique designer, Duane Topping. Duane, thank you for being here today with us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
I've seen your designs. They're very edgy, very unique. How did you commence your start to design? How did you begin that process?
So one of the things, I retired from the Army in 2012. I did a number of deployments while in the Army. So you can imagine that coming out of those circumstances, left me in sort of a really dark place. And I spent a number of years in that darkness, dealing with mental health issues and stuff. So in the fall of 2016, I decided that, I really needed to find something positive to redirect all that negativity. I was deployed. I would pour through the women's magazines from the female care packages, and I would cut out the pictures, and my wife and I would go back and forth and comment. And so I've always had this sort of inner love of fashion, and I've always been an artist. So I reached back. I came home one day and I told my wife, I said, hey, listen, I'm going to teach myself to sew. And she said, when are you going to do that? Well, I held up my sewing machine. I said, right now. And that's how it began. I literally set it up on a TV tray, sat down, and I made a purse. It was upside down and it didn't work. And she put all her stuff in it, set it down, and it all fell out. But that's how I started.
We all have our little unique ways of starting something. And it's crazy to me because lots of people wouldn't really think of you as a designer. Is that something that you typically get?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how many times I've been to shows, even ones that I've featured in where I'm, labeled, they think I'm the doorman or I'm the janitor. Here, can you take this trash out? So, no, all the time. I think one of the things fundamentally that I do as a designer is I ensure that you can be more than those labels. And in fact, one of our fundamental mottos is that we are more than a label, just like you. And so I struggle with this idea that, I look like this, you're this old biker, how are you a fashion? And I think that's the point.
It's amazing, and I think that your message is incredible, especially for all those people out there that are struggling with that image, like you said. Who or what inspires you to design?
I get my inspiration from a number of places. It really just depends on the particular season, the collection. So much of what I do aesthetically is really an extension of who I am and my journey. I like to think of myself as hard on the outside and soft on the inside. So one of the things I try to do with my aesthetic is I pair these soft feminine fabrics with some sort of hard structured detail, and I think that tells a story in and of itself. But so often I'm inspired by individuals. It comes from everywhere.
You just take bits and pieces of what you find appealing and what strikes you.
Absolutely. The world is full of beautiful things.
What does the word Latino mean to you?
Well, for me, I think I take it definitely outside of the traditional social norm. One of the things for me is, in particular about this show, is it really exhibits the idea that, it is an influential culture. It's beautiful, it's rich, it's got character, and the value, if we just throw it away to these silly, narrow labels, I think is surely a waste.
I think that you hit the nail right on the head with what you just described as Latino. So I think that Latin Fashion Week Colorado this is exactly the message that we're trying to send to everybody. How do you want to impact the world with your design and your fashion?
Well, I think for me, and it's never really been about the clothes. It's always been about, I found my piece through this creative process. Now I need to try and give back and maybe show other people that you too can find that piece. Whatever obstacles that you can come over, they become opportunities. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from, how you identify, what color, what your cultural background is, you are still that gift. And I hope that the fact that this old biker can do it, that someone else can walk in my footsteps or at least find a little bit of their own story in mine and be inspired.
Perfect. Oh my goodness. Duane, thank you so much for just taking a time out of your day. It's a pleasure to chit-chat here with you today at Beto's Hair Studio. My name is Daisy Quesada, and this is Latin Fashion Week Colorado.